passion for smoking foods, one smoke at a time, discussing step by step recipes, successes, failures, and everything else that we fire up. The bros will be interviewing celebrity pitmasters and your everyday backyard barbecue titans. Cheers to a new episode.
There we
and
go.
Smoke
One,
on,
two,
my
three.
friends.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 2 of Season 2, and we have a very, very special guest with us today. Super excited for this one. I've been following this gentleman on social media for quite some time and learned a lot of great things from him, as you're going to find out today. But I'm going to give a little introduction here, and then we're going to get this rocking and rolling because this man's time is very valuable, so I don't want to waste any of it. So we have Captain Ron. Ron is a legendary pitmaster, renowned for his exceptional barbecue skills. With a passion for smoking meats to perfection, he has garnered a dedicated following of barbecue enthusiasts. His expertise in selecting the finest cuts of meat, combined with the mastery of smoking techniques, has elevated the barbecue platform. Whether it's succulent ribs, tender brisket, or flavorful pulled pork, Captain Ron's creations have delighted taste buds across the nation. His dedication to quality, innovation, and love of good food has made him a respected figure amongst the very prestigious barbecue community. He's a 20 to 21 Green Egg Fest champion. He has a huge following on Instagram with Captain Ron 302. His Instagram channel too, Captain Ron Cooks, along with the Fogo YouTube channel. He is easy to find and he has great recipes. So we are so delighted to have you, Captain Ron. Welcome to Super Smoke Bros.
Man, thanks so much, man. What an intro. Wow, I want to do this like 5 times a day. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
And so we're going to kind of just rock and roll here. We have Colin Sheehan and Brian Berlin and Brian Peterson and myself, Z, and we're just going to fire some questions at you, and we just can't wait to hear your story.
All right, cool. I can't wait.
All right, I'm going to kick it off. So, Colin Sheehan, pleasure to have you on. Thanks for coming along. So we all have our unique journey that we got into barbecue, and for all of us, it's been a lot of seeing things that people like you have done, or Miss Tina and Hey Girl Hey and Seattle Butcher's Wife and a whole bunch of other people. So who are some people that have helped you along the way, and what led you kind of into this world, into the barbecue world?
Wow, great stuff. Great stuff. Well, I mean, a few that you named right there are definitely some of the ones right there that I stay pretty in touch with and in tune with. It's been great. One of the things I love about this is the community. Like, you talk about social media. There's so many people that we find that we're friends with that we never even met in person yet. You know what I mean? So it's kind of neat. But along the way, I mean, I got to start with probably Sebastian, the owner of Fogo. He really helped me with social media. He gave me some pointers. He ran the YouTube first, and he was doing the videos, and then he allowed me to take over from there when the pandemic started. But from the beginning, the guys from Trompo King, Noam Weiss, been a real good guy to me. But as far as like big grinning people, Barbecue Buddha from the very beginning, the guy's a legend, and he just, I could tell you stories that it's just so funny because we didn't even know each other. I was just kind of new on the scene, and I wanted to go to Eggtoberfest. It was like the night before, and I texted him on Instagram, so hey man, can you don't know me, but can you help me find me? The guy went out of his way to help find me a ticket. I mean, I was just like right there, instant bond, instant friendship. Mel, Dark Side of the Grill, we've been friends since we both had very few following, and kept going, how do we do this, man? Back then, Grill Mama was part of Big Green Egg team. And some guys that are in the competition world kind of helped me really out a lot. Like I don't know if you ever heard of the Grabbing the Brisket podcast, but John from there, man, he kind of him and his wife Demi, they kind of helped me out and gave me some pointers on social media and really pointed me in the right direction. And just a lot. There's so many people. The community is so helpful and so wanting to help you see more and get better that I could just name 100 names right now, right off the top of my head, probably. So I won't bore you all with that.
It is a great community.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all curious to hear about what is the connection with the green egg? Obviously, you have a ton of videos with that and doing some really creative, unique things on there. So you mentioned that you've worked with the founder, and I'm curious how you got it involved so heavily with that.
So am I. To tell you the truth, it's kind of it's really cool because I mean, I'm literally I'm a backyard barbecue guy. I mean, I've learned by watching others and by watching TV and reading cookbooks and learning new techniques and paying attention when the Food Network used to show cooking shows, and things like that. Um, but it's funny because it was just a hobby. That's all it was, and all of a sudden, I always liked to cook, but I wanted to get, they say at like 35 years old, men either get into World War II history or smoking meats. So I decided to go with the smoking meats route and get a smoker, So I got this little like bullet smoker, and man, I fell in love with it. I was terrible at it, but I fell in love with learning the process and learning it. And I always seen Big Green Egg, they're, the grill to have, the grill to have, it's the ceramic master, So finally, I kind of always wanted one. My parents gave me one for my birthday one year. They got me a used one. And I didn't actually immediately take to it, but about a year into it, I started cooking on it, and I fell in love with it. I just fell in love with it, and then I cooked it in an egg fest, and we served people and got to know the community. And my kids were like, "You should start an Instagram." I said, "Yes, you should start me an Instagram." So my kids started me an Instagram, and it just kind of took off. And then about I don't know a year after we started the Instagram, I've been posting a lot of Big Green Egg posts and because I truly believe that smoker, if you can cook it in your oven, your stove top, anything, you can cook it on an egg, and so that kind of helped me. And then Big Green Egg reached out. They literally sent me an email one day. They're like, "Hey, we need to get your address. We want to send you some stuff for being on BGE Team Green." I was like, "Wait, what?" I showed my girlfriend, like, "What does this say? Right? Am I reading this correctly?" And it just started a relationship there, and I guess my love for it really shined through, and they liked what I was doing, so I made it on the team there, and it's just been such a fun ride, man. Really great stuff.
That's great.
Nice, yeah. I'm kind of excited to ask this question because I'm curious what your answer is. I was thinking about this. What is the one thing that amateur pitmasters don't see in your social media or videos? Kind of the bloopers or I don't know what it might be, but like that's like the first thing that came to mind. But I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so I would say probably, yeah. You mentioned bloopers. There's a lot of oops moments. There's a lot of stuff that winds up. I use the term cutting room floor, but deleted or just not used. There's a lot of that stuff. But the one thing to remember about social media is that bad food can still look pretty. That's I think that's the kind of thing. You'd be surprised how much of the stuff that we make really doesn't get eaten because we do a lot of experimenting. And because I share something with you guys, I might have cooked 5 bad recipes that didn't turn out the way I wanted them to, or needed more work or something. So there's a lot of that goes on. People think, "Oh man, they're doing great. Look at that. They just made that sandwich and posted it. Look at it." No, there's some work that goes into this stuff. It's not just a lot of it's not just spur of the moment at this point anymore. So.
Yeah, we can all attest to that. That's for sure. We post stuff on our Instagram and things like that, and we talk to our students because our students follow us and stuff like that. And they're like, "Wow, I kind of messed up this way or this way." You just don't see it. And I love that quote: "Bad food can still look pretty." So that's awesome.
It actually reminded me of a story. My first brisket I ever made was more like beef jerky, and I shared a picture with my family, like, "Oh, that looks good," and I just kind of, it was really good. It's a good thing I really love beef jerky.
Got a lot of it, right?
Yeah, we had a lot of it. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Yep, we've all been there, man. We've all done it. Yep.
So, Captain Ron, our next question, and you kind of answered this, so maybe there's someone you thought of in between, but it was like, who are the pitmasters that you follow on social media? And you kind of alluded to a few already. And are there any big reasons why you follow those pitmasters?
I think that birds of a feather kind of flock together, and all those people I mentioned really are people that enjoy helping other people. And I think that's one of the cool things about the entire barbecue community is it's really comprised of a lot of people that really want to help other people, and not because they want something in return, just because, man, it feels good to help somebody else, Thanksgiving just passed, and you can't believe how many messages you get, "Hey, Captain Ron, just want to let you know I followed your turkey recipe, man. We had the best Thanksgiving meal ever. My family loved it. They want me to cook again next year." I mean, how cool is that,
Mhm.
man? I mean,
Yeah.
it raises the hair on my arms because something I did now made somebody else have a really great moment with their family. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yep.
how does it get better than that? You know, I mean, that's the stuff that I love about it. You know,
It's
Mhm.
something I think we can relate to as educators. It's,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
when you see students take something away and use it somewhere,
yeah.
it
Up,
feels good.
and they apply it and it works, and yep,
Yep.
yeah, it's exactly what it is. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
No, I got into teaching for the money.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, yeah. Probably the most underpaid profession in the world. So much respect for you, that's for sure.
Thank
You
you.
know, you'd asked me too about like other influencers, you know, and they don't all have to be giant number influencers. You know, you mentioned Tina Cannon. You know, she was on the Netflix show. Okay, she
Yeah.
won the Netflix show. So I reached out on Instagram, just like, oh, she'll never see this. You know, I sent her a note. Hey, I loved what you did on there. You know, you like your humor, and you know, I thought you did a great job. She reached right back out, and
Yeah.
we're like best friends now. We
Yeah.
spent some time talking today. She's coming down. We're going to cook in the Fort Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival
Oh,
together. You know, I
sweet.
mean, uh, how the hell does a backyard barbecue guy become friends with a TV personality?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Hmm.
where else does that happen in the world? And it's great. When you know, there's so many people like that. You know, I think that probably a lot of people on Team Green are that way. You know, that's one of the things I've noticed about the team is that they all enjoy helping each other and helping other people. They want to see, you know, it's all part of love for the grill, I guess, too. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, that's part of it. So, that's probably a lot of the other ones. Just again, just so many to list. You know,
Yeah.
I'll tell you one that's important. My girlfriend, she puts up with a
Yeah.
lot of crap with this man.
Yeah.
She's a good one. So, Lenny Lynn, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So we've talked a little
This,
bit.
oh,
But,
I'm sorry. Someone's talking. Sorry. I cut someone off. Go ahead. Did I? Oh no.
no,
It's
no worries, no worries.
because I
So
had a
we've
question
talked a little bit.
this summer. Is I don't know. I had a question this summer, so I text Miss Tina, and she just called me, and she took me step by step through it. I'm like, I can't believe you're calling me and bringing me step by. You know, it's just like, and all these people that we've met will like have done that, and it's been awesome. What a cool journey. So,
Yeah,
all right, Colin, I think I cut you
yeah.
off like
You
three
know,
times, but go ahead.
No, no worries, no worries. Did you ever imagine that your barbecue journey would inspire other people to get into it and start their own journey? And what does that mean? What does it feel like? And just kind of what do you take from that?
No, you know, I never really did it all. I never really did it all. You know, like I said, when my kids helped me start the Instagram and stuff, I just figured, it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be something fun that I can share with maybe some of my old high school friends will click on and see it, you know, or something like that. And the way it just took off, I think it was probably a lot of right place, right time. You know, barbecuing was just kind of starting to really grow in popularity. There was a couple of people that you know were kind of leading the way on Instagram, and it hadn't gotten to the point that it's at now. You can still post pictures and get likes and comments. It's amazing, you know. But but you know, yeah, that's probably God, I kind of just lost my train of thought. I'm sorry about that.
No
Oh
worries,
my
no
God, you
worries.
know what happened? My cat just knocked something over there. It threw me off a little bit there. So, um, God, remind me where we
Cool.
were. I'm really drawing a blank. I'm sorry.
I asked what it means to you that your journey has inspired
Oh
other
yeah. I'm sorry.
people to
Yeah,
kind of start their own and what you take from it.
I feel like an idiot right now. Sorry.
Oh
Oh,
no.
no worries.
No, but you know the
It
fact,
happens to us every day.
yeah, you know, just like what we just said, you guys being you know instructors and teachers is that you know the reward there is that's the reward. It's just helping. I really get a kick out of helping others. You know, so then the fact that it has grown into that, I never did anticipate that. No, I never really did. But I went to actually go buy something used for my green egg, and it wound up being a guy named Kurt Halls, who was the owner of BBQ Seasonings, and it was him. You know, and I had just been starting out. I had like I think I don't know maybe 800 followers or something like that. And I got there, and he knew who I was. I was like, "Holy crap!" You know, that's pretty cool. You know, he was a big green egg guy and stuff. And he told me, he says, "Man, if you want to be successful at this, help other people, teach others." He goes, that's what's really gonna do it." He says, "Everybody can post a steak. Anybody can take a picture of a steak and post it. It's gonna look good. But what are you doing about that? Are you just showing it off, or are you saying, hey, this is how I did it, and this is it turned out this way or not?" And it just made a whole lot of sense to me. So that was probably the greatest piece of advice that I ever got that helped me to get to what you were just saying about inspiring others. And the fact that happens, it just blows me away. It blows me away. You know, the coolest thing, my daughter, like my kids are really into what I do. You know, my daughter says to me, she says, you know, you're kind of like leaving a legacy. I said, what do you mean? She goes, your videos, like after you're gone and somebody goes buys a green egg, they're still going to look up your videos and watch your videos. I'm like, you know, I never really thought of it that way at all, you know? And I'm like, so, you know, just, you know, to leave that big of a mark on the world, to me, that is just so humbling. It's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. It's just, it blows me away all the time, to tell you the truth. You know, so,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Great answer.
And you do have a ton of followers out there. I'm curious how that social media journey has gone. Has it been sort of a parallel route with your experiments with the big green egg, or
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I would say, you know, it's been I wouldn't say that's kind of a hard one to actually hit, but we excuse me one second. It's been like, you know, the problem with Instagram or something like that is that it's such a roller coaster, you know,
hmm,
like you get on this high and all of a sudden you're getting followers and getting this, you know, and then I think part of it is because like you hoped for them, but you didn't. You were surprised when they came. You know, now after a while, you kind of start to expect them, and then when they're not showing up, you know, like right now, I'll tell you the truth, I'm in a follower slump, man. I'm like losing followers right now. You know, I'm not gaining a lot, and it's frustrating. You know, because you go through all this work and you put your time and your effort into it, and the reward's not there. And when it was there 6 months ago, and it's now not there, it's like, well, okay, what do I need to change?
hmm,
Something has to change again, you know. So it's an ever evolving thing, you know. Like I mentioned before, you used to be able to post a picture on Instagram and get likes and follows and stuff like that. You post a picture now, you know. I think it's starting to change again, but up until recently, you post a picture, you're not getting anything. You know, you might as well not even go on there, you know. So, but you know, the other thing that's been great about the other part of social media for me is that the YouTube, you know, Fogo's charcoal has just given me such an incredible opportunity. You know, when the pandemic started, Sebastian, the owner, was doing the videos himself, and he said, you know, he called me up one day and he says, listen, he says, you were in the end of a couple of my videos with me. He said, you did a great job. He says, I'm so busy right now. Everybody's at home, and they're all cooking outside, and we're the busiest we've ever been overnight, you know. And he just didn't have the time, so he said, would you make a couple of videos for us? So I made like 3 videos, and he liked them. I look back at them now and I cringe. I'm like, oh my God, they're the most horrible videos I've ever seen. They're terrible. I can't believe this guy kept me on. He was desperate, you know. But you know, I've had some great help along the way. Our old camera guy, he had a big channel, it was Salty Tales channel. His name was Ninja, and he helped out a lot. He gave me a lot of tips and really brought me along and kind of taught me how to make a better video. You know, like the first one we made, you can see I'm like, okay, now you got to do this, and then you need to go 1/4 teaspoon of this, you know, and then 2 cups of it's so bad. It's so bad, you know. So, but it's been a fun progression, you know. But yeah, the thing about social media is you got to plow through the tough times. Got to, you know, and that's really where it's at. You know, is if you want to be successful with it and you want to have fun with it, you got to plow through even the crappy times. So,
Yep.
hope that
And
answers it.
definitely, I mean, I mean, become pretty accomplished, and like you said, it doesn't come easy, right? And you know, is there any advice you give to, you know, the question says young, but I would say somewhat young for me, but some young people, inspiring pit masters that you know that you might have learned along the way, some tricks of the trade. I know you mentioned a little bit. You mentioned the make sure you're telling people how you did things and giving some insight, really like, you know, helping people understand and inspiring people that way. But is there anything else that you could give advice to us or other people out there looking to gain that presence?
Yeah, absolutely, definitely. It's kind of funny you're asking me, and I'm just telling you right now, I'm in a terrible slump, so don't take my advice at all right now, okay? But no, I would say that you know, being consistent is really important with it. You know, if you want to excel, you want to gain followers, you want to grow in this in the social media world, be consistent. You know, every day, be at it, and you know, put some thought and some work behind it. You know, don't just shoot. You know, although I mean, some of the best stuff I've ever shot was stuff that I just kind of threw together and it did really well. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? You know? But being consistent, you know, a lot of people, they post at the same time on every day, and it's the same style and the same format. Their videos are the same format. You know, I've watched these people grow. Bama, you know, I haven't mentioned Bama Grow Master. He was one that helped me out a lot. You know, but like he posts every day, same time. His videos have the same format. He starts off his videos, all right, guys, we're gonna do this, you know, and but then he goes down to his recipe, and you know, he's been really successful with it. And it's just an example right there that being consistent, doing the same thing over and over again, you know, um, is I think that's one of the main key things to it.
Great.
Also, if you're not really into it yet, don't do it. Don't do it.
Our next question, Captain Ron, you've already answered, so I'm going to go off script for a minute here and come up with this question here. We all have, like you talked about, we all have those, have had successful stuff we posted, all right, and we also kind of mentioned that, like, Berlin's beef jerky brisket. What is there, like, an epic failure that happened to you when you were maybe first starting out in your barbecue journey?
Um, all right. Well, I'm not sure if it was an epic failure, but yeah, it was a definite learning lesson. Okay. There's a meat shop and green egg dealer about 2 hours north of here called Wassey's Meat Market. They were the largest. I'm not sure if I think they still are the largest big green egg dealer volume wise in the country. And they built this huge classroom. They got all these 8 eggs set up there. So they said, "Hey, I'd just like to come teach a class here." I'm like, "Whoa, okay." I think that they might have been instrumental in me getting into BG Team Green too at the time, but I said, "Man, I'd love to." I've never seen that. So they invited me to watch a Jack Arnold class and then a Ryan Lane from Lane's Barbecue. They were both doing a class there, so I got to go and learn. I'd never even been to a barbecue class, So I'm like, "Sure, I'll do it." What do I do? So they invited me, and then Jack and Ryan really, really taught me a lot on how to teach a class. So I teach them my first class, and it's a holiday class, and it's prime rib. So they got 6 eggs going, and I'm inside teaching, and the eggs are all going outside. And then they got other people actually doing the cooking. So I said, "Well, we're going to get ready to sear this prime rib. Let's go ahead and say it." They just put it on to sear, and they had it closed. They had it really ripping. And if you know anything about big green eggs, you're supposed to burp it when it's burning really hot, right? So this thing's burning like 700 degrees, 800 degrees, and you could see flames kind of shooting at the top a little bit. And I go walk outside with 50 or 60 people, students in the classroom. I go, "All right, now let's look at the prime rib." And I ripped that thing open, and this fireball came out. Man, it singed all my arm hair, just about singed my eyebrows. So yeah, I'd say I'm not sure that's exactly what you're looking for there, but yeah, that's one of the ones. That's a pretty big one right there. I was like, yeah, do as I say, not as I do, kind of moment.
Did you get to the sear you were looking for on that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. It was really going too, man. It was funny.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the heat turned me more red or the embarrassment turned me red.
Oh, that's hilarious. We all have. I've singed hairs on my arm in my backyard too.
Sure. It's a kind of rite of passage, really.
I think so.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, so we would all like to know. Obviously, we see your videos and we see what you prepare in your videos. But what is something, or maybe your favorite thing, to make when you're not doing a video? Just kind of for yourself, or maybe some close family or friends, or do you just kind of like to take time off from barbecuing and maybe throw in a frozen pizza or something like that? Or is there foods that you like to make that really isn't like barbecue?
Yes, it's funny. Probably my favorite meal in the world is not barbecue. It's really not. I love me some chicken parmesan, man. I just love a good chicken parm, and that's probably my go-to when I want to break. Because we don't cook. I don't cook every single day on the grill. We don't, you know what I mean. You don't cook inside sometimes too, and everything, But I had hoped that, going back to an earlier question a little bit, I had hoped that my presence would build, and that I would become what's happening to me now. I was kind of hoping that this kind of stuff would happen, actually, and it was one of those things that you just I'm sorry, I'll dry out again. Shit, I freaking lost my train of thought again. You guys are gonna think I'm an idiot. Oh my god! Oh my god! This doesn't happen to me. I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
Give me it once more again. Jesus.
You're
talking cook it inside.
Oh yeah, chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
Sorry. Chicken parmesan. But yeah, we do. I do cook other ways too. But like I said, when I had the aspirations, I figured it was probably, if I just went into regular cooking and started posting me cooking chicken parm and cooking stuff in the kitchen. Listen, there's probably 5 people in the next 3 houses next to me that are as good or better cooked than I am. You know what I mean? But it's what you do with it, kind of. You know what I mean? And I figured I'd rather try to be a bigger fish in a really small pond than just go out there and try and make a name for myself cooking. Because let's face it, I mean, there's great cooks everywhere. So just like I said, matter of timing and everything like that worked out real well. But yeah, I do cook a lot of stuff not on the barbecue too, but I love it. I love that hint of smoke. You know what I mean? I like it because in a lot of my videos I say use smoke like an ingredient. Just the way salt is an ingredient. Just a little kiss of smoke on a lot of different things that you wouldn't normally think of is really good. So people say, "Oh, can I cook this on my egg?" I say, "Listen, if you can cook it in your oven, cook it in your egg. Think of it as an outdoor oven." You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
That's great.
yeah.
I like that smoke like an ingredient. That's a really helpful tip. Really.
Well, sure, because I don't want to bite into an ashtray. You know what I mean? I want to taste the flavors of the meats. I want to taste I want to taste the whole joining of everything coming together in one bite. I don't want just that overly smoky, acrid taste.
Oh, well, Captain Ron, our next part of our questions is what we call the sizzle round. So we'll just kind of
Okay.
we have about maybe 12 questions, and you can. There's no time or anything. We have a question. What comes up to your, first in your mind, and if there's any story behind it, please share it, and we'll just.
All right.
They're fun questions that deal with barbecue and things, but we always have a lot of fun with our guests with these ones. So.
Cool.
I think Petey, you start us off.
Yeah, you bet. Here we go. First question in the sizzle round is your favorite cut of meat to barbecue?
Any beef at all. The picanha is really
Nice.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. How about your favorite rub?
My favorite rub, when I first kind of started, I went up to Chicago. I met this guy named Phil Wingo who owned Pork Mafia rubs,
Yes.
and they're kind of you guys might know him actually up
Yep.
that way. He's
I know who
not
that
far
is,
from you
yeah.
in Chicago. There, yep. But he has one called Memphis Mud, and I started using it on my pork butts. I still use it to this day. I probably have, I think I have like a 20-pound bag of it in my thing that I just refill my shake with. Because anytime I'm making pork butts, that's what I use: Pork Mafia Memphis Mud.
All right. Favorite side to prepare?
I love me a good mac and cheese. I just love me a good mac and cheese, and it doesn't have to be super fancy. Like we make a really simple one, and it's just so damn good every time. It's just so good, It's like I think it just kind of reminds me of childhood a little bit or something. You know what I mean? But definitely mac and cheese. That sounded very Rain Man-ish.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great one. Love good mac and cheese. Gosh.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that our next question is favorite side to eat, but I'm assuming it's mac and cheese.
Yeah. Yep. Without a doubt. Yeah, I wouldn't kick some collard greens out of the way either.
Oh yeah.
How about favorite smoker or grill?
Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, is there
It's
a
shaped like an
model?
egg, and no. So I use my XL Big Green Egg constantly. The other thing I've gotten into, really want to throw it out there, is I've been doing more live fire cooking.
Yeah.
And actually, you're talking about other people. You had mentioned Seattle Butcher's Wife, but
Yeah.
Al Fragoni,
Yep.
Carla Di Lorenzo. These people, David from Live Fire Republic. These guys have been teaching with me and worked with me on live fire. And I got me a Tagwood Santa Maria grill. Man,
Mhm.
I love it, man. I love it. There's something about the flame and just the primalness of cooking over live fire like that. I'm kind of really addicted to that right now. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we talked with Seattle's Butcher's Wife was Misty. She was really going, and I contacted Al, and he got back to me, so I'm gonna try to get him on here too as well. But when I was out in Montana interviewing, talking to Big Sky Barbecue, he was really
Mhm.
showing me the Tagwoods and stuff, and really getting into the
Yeah.
open fire barbecue.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's growing right now, man. It's catching on. It's funny. It's the oldest form of cooking there is, and
Yeah.
it's becoming popular again. It's like bell bottoms. Just hold on to them.
It'll come back.
That's
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about your preferred smoking temperature?
275 across the board. Across the board. That's my go-to. I don't know. I used to try and go 225 on everything, and then I went to 250. And I didn't really notice the difference. And I went to 275 once. I was like, I still don't notice a difference, So that's really well where I started at, where I like to smoke pretty much everything at.
All right. Favorite wood to smoke with?
All right, so this is not a shameless product plug, okay? This is the truth. There's a product out there called Smoky Bourbon. They're bourbon barrel smoking chunks, okay? And the woman has contracted with all these different bourbon companies in Kentucky, and she gets their old barrels that they use to age bourbon. She gets them. She hand cuts them up by hand, like by hand. She literally cuts these
Really?
barrels up and packages them, and she sells them. And it is such a good flavor on the food. It adds this little bit of sweetness and just a little extra flavor that you don't get from a regular oak or even a fruit wood or something like that. It's just extra little flavor, and that is absolutely my favorite smoking wood.
I'm literally ordering those right now.
Yeah,
I love
good.
them.
Yeah.
Yep,
I love bourbon.
It's fun when you find a product that you really like. You know what I mean? When you find something you really
Yeah.
like. Obviously, I work with different companies and promote certain products and things like that. But I do have a staunch rule that, like, let's say a company reaches out and says, "Hey, we want you to do some posting about this." If I don't know that product or haven't used it, I'll tell you what. If you want to consider it, send me the product. Let me try it out. If I wouldn't tell my parents to use this product or to even go buy this product, I'm not going to tell anybody else to do it either.
Mhm.
It's kind of a rule that I have. So you won't see me. I don't want to say pushing. I try not to push anything, but promoting or doing like that. If it's not something that's not worthwhile, I'm not going to push it. You know what I mean? I don't know what made me go off
Yeah,
on
it's
that.
good.
I don't know what made me go off on that little tangent right there, but
That's all
I
right.
guess because I really believe like the barrel proof things. I'm friends with the owner now because I posted so much. She reached out. She's like, "I want to send you some." I'm like, "I already buy them," but and we've become really good friends again. But yeah,
Awesome.
that's
I mean,
why.
inadvertently, that was a really good sales pitch for that. So you got me.
Yeah, you got it. Yep, I have it on my phone.
All right, how about your preferred pit master to work with?
Whew, wow. How do I say that without pissing anybody off? I don't know. Um, there's,
I mean,
you know what? I get to work with a lot of different people. I really do. I get to, and this is going to sound like such a cop out, but each person brings something different to the table. Some people bring humor, some people bring talent, some people bring knowledge, some people bring, just abilities or what I mean? Just that there's always something like that. You know, um, I've worked with Grill Girl Robin quite a bit. You know, she's been really cool. When I first got into this, she's probably someone I should have mentioned before too. She was like this grilling celebrity in the grilling world already, and she'd been on a Today Show a bunch of times. She's this cute little blonde woman, and I decided I was about a year into Instagram, and I decided to have an influencers day. So I said I'm going to invite all the top influencers. I really enjoy building the community. I want the barbecue community. I really enjoy it a lot, and I wanted to bring some people together. So I invited like 20 of the local influencers between Miami and West Palm here, and she's this grilling celebrity, and she lived like a half hour away. So I reached out. And I was like, "Hey, I'm having this day. I'd love to invite you." She showed up. Her dad, who was like a world barbecue champion, he showed up. He brought me a pit barrel smoker. Like
Really?
what the hell? It was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So it's just a fun little
oh,
deal.
that's great.
That's awesome.
All right, I think mine is next. I think.
Yes.
Favorite. I'm really curious about this because this is my zone. Favorite streaming stations or music to listen to
You know,
while you're barbecuing.
Yeah, kind of funny actually. Just the other day, we went through a thing on Spotify. I love Spotify, man. I love Spotify, and I don't work with them. That's not a promotion, okay? but just the other day, I went through it and they had this thing you can hit, and it tells you all your top things that you've listened to all year, and like that. Sublime was like way up here. I am a Sublime freak, man.
I love
And
Yes.
yeah. So that didn't surprise me, but that's if I'm especially if I'm home alone because my family's just like, oh my god, freaking Sublime again. That's not exactly what they say, but I don't want to repeat that. But yeah, Sublime's a big one. Believe it or not, man, I love me some hip hop too, like older school hip
Oh,
hop.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So I think Biggie was
Yep.
was my next biggest one I've listened to. I had some Wu-Tang on there. Believe it or not, Run DMC and Beastie Boys were on there too. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, yeah. I listen to hip hop barbecue when I'm smoking.
There you go. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
man. Love it. Love it.
All right, so it's a beautiful day, and you're just about to fire up the egg, and you got some beef going. What is the beverage you're grabbing? What's your go-to beverage to pair
Man,
with?
I'm just gonna be completely honest and boring, man. I don't drink. I don't. Everybody's like, you must be a bourbon drinker. I'm like, no, I'm not. So I drink like I drink more Arnold Palmers than like the half iced tea, half lemonade than most people
Yeah.
will in the world, you know. So, but
Wow.
it's funny. It was like, "You're in barbecue, you don't drink." I'm like, "Yeah, just don't drink," you know. So boring, right? I know, I know.
No,
My
no,
girlfriend,
no. That's why we ask
there's
them.
this
We
old
always
adage,
Yeah.
there's
we're
this old
always
adage
interested
that
because
says,
everyone does their own thing, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I smoked cigarettes years ago, you know. And my girlfriend now, she says, "You like that old Adam Ant song? Don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do?" See, I'm an old man now. Come on.
So to kind of wrap things up here, this last segment, our last question or a couple questions here to end our interview.
Yeah.
Is there any? I always like to ask: is there any like barbecue stories that you like to share that we haven't talked about yet?
You know, not not really. I don't. There's nothing that sticks out in my mind really.
Okay,
You
it's
know.
hard to beat that cooking class one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But no, kind of a funny one. This, I had cooked in an egg fest. I think it was maybe my second or third egg fest. I'd been like on BGE Team Green for like, I don't know, 6 months or something like that. So I had an egg fest across the state, and the guy says, "We'd love to have you over here." So all right, cool, you know. So I drove over for the day, and there was this woman, and she was serving these little hot dogs, but carrots. She was a vegetarian, and she was grilling carrots, little baby carrots, and put them in a little tiny hot dog bun and serving it with chili on it, vegetarian chili, you know. I didn't know what it was, so I tasted it. I'm like, "Wow, that's really good." You know, it's what is it? So she told me, I'm like, "Get out of here," you know. I said, "That's really cool." So I said, "You know, my name is Ron. They call me Captain Ron. I'm on BG Team Green." She's like, "Okay, cool," you know, whatever. I'm like, "No, no." I'm like, "It's like Big Green Eggs Ambassador Team." She's like, "Okay, I don't know. I've never cooked on one before. It's my first day." I said, "No, yeah." I said, "Wow, that's pretty cool. You know, you're good at it, kid." And then about like 3 or 4 months later, I'm on Instagram, and this woman reaches out to me, and she was asking me a question about something that I cooked and everything. And we started talking. I said, "Wait a second. I said, were you at that egg fest over there?" She says, "Yeah, that was the first day I ever cooked on an egg." I said, "Wait a second. Were you serving little carrot hot dogs?" She says, "Yeah." And it wound up being Shannon. Her name is Shannon. She's a BGE, Big Green Egg foodie. And she's
Oh,
on Big
cool.
G. Now she's done such a good job for herself that she's on Big Green Eggs Ambassador Team too. You know,
Oh,
so that's
sweet.
kind of, it was good. We always joke around, you know, man, if it wasn't for carrot hot dogs, we, you know, so you might not even be on the team. Who knows, you know, something like that, you know. But she's become a really good friend now too, so it's kind of fun.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
Captain Ron, kind of end our interview. Can you let the fans know what you have on coming up on Captain Ron Cooks or on the Fogo YouTube channel or your Instagram channel?
Sure, sure. Yeah, actually this week I got something really cool going on. I've got he's retired now. He's a pro wrestler coming to film a couple videos with us. His name is Brimstone, and he's got a
Oh,
little bit of social media presence. He's got a radio show. He's coming down, and then this woman, her name is Carla Di Lorenzo. She's like one of the top live fire masters in the country, really, and she's coming up to join us, and we're going to do a couple live fire grilling videos coming up on the Fogo channel. So I'm really excited about that. We got some cool collaborations coming up there as well. I just committed last night. I'm cooking in we're competing in both the Fort Lauderdale and the South Beach Food and Wine Festival in the barbecue division. So it's kind of pretty cool, you know.
wow. Oh, that's awesome.
It's amazing, you know, because I just go back to this and that damn backyard barbecue guy. You know what I mean? Like, you know, um, you just asked about a good barbecue story or something like that. You know, I had the grand honor of being invited to the Rub and Tug. The W Sauce guys run this thing called the Rub and Tug in Key West, and we're out there. We're cooking on the sandbar 7 miles off of Key West. You know,
Hmm.
this guy comes over and he goes, "Hey man, here, taste my lobster tail. And what you think?" It's Heath Riles. Heath Riles walks up to me with a lobster tail in the middle of the Key West Ocean. Says, "Here man, try my lobster tail." You know, I'm like, what is happening here? You know, what world am I living in right now? You know, but you know, it just that kind of hit me as a story right there. That you know that I kind of missed on the other one there. So I hope that answered both of your questions, kind of.
Yeah, I remember seeing your post on. I think was Misty out there too. Seattle's Butcher Wife, I
Mm-hmm.
think too. Yeah, seeing all the posts and you guys in that on like the in the water smoking food
Yeah,
and things like that. Oh, how awesome!
crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. You know, if you're not familiar with it, it's this 3 day event. That the first day you take you out fishing, like each team goes out fishing, and you get points for different fish that you catch, something like that.
yeah,
Second day, you go out lobstering. You know, you have
oh,
guided captains and everything. You know,
yeah.
taking you out. Then at noontime, you meet up on the sandbar, and that Green Egg has like 25 mini maxes set up, and you go out there, you're on a sandbar, and all of a sudden, an hour later, you're knee deep in the water grilling grilling lobster tails, and you're like, what? You know,
Yeah.
what?
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Well,
It's crazy. Very blessed. I just before we finish up, I feel very, very blessed in what I get to do. And that I get the feedback that what we're doing is helping people, and people are enjoying it. And they get something out of it. If we can provide some value to somebody, that's pretty awesome. So that's something I just want to add that in there, kind of.
awesome. No, it's funny, Captain Ron, because we've been so blessed with people like you coming on the show, and we're just small time, and we just enjoy talking, but everyone has the same message that you do, helping people, and just so blessed, and it's really a special community that everyone reaches out and just helps each other, and
Yeah.
that's why we're so enthralled in it, because it's just meeting you. I never thought I'd get the opportunity to meet you and interview you, and so we. With that, we just thank you, Captain Ron, for joining these four
Yeah.
teachers here, the Super Smoke Bros, and our journey of just getting the message out about the barbecue community. And here in Wisconsin, the Midwest, where it's not, there's some barbecue, but it's not like the South and things like that. But it's growing, and we're trying to help it grow a little bit. And just like I said, we don't make money; we just have fun doing it. So we thank you
Hey,
so much.
that's amazing. And then I'm the one that's saying thank you. I mean, to be, if you guys asked me to want to be on a podcast like this, that's just awesome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it a lot. And anytime, I'm always happy to help. And to me, it's an honor that you guys asked me to be on something like this. Just it always is, really. And I appreciate it. And we might be more well known in the social media world and like that, but what you guys do is like a bazillion times more important than what we're doing out here
Well,
with
thanks.
barbecue. You know what I mean? I mean, realistically, it's much. I have a real lot of respect for teachers, that's for sure. So I think it's just awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, Captain Ron, we always end our podcast with smoke on. So, if you wouldn't mind, if you to end our podcast tonight with smoke on.
Sure. Smoke on.
Yes.